Hey guys, Fish767 here. Today I thought I'd do something really different. Today I thought I'd show you how I build one of my decks from the ground up. So I've not built this deck yet, but I want the commander of the deck to be this card. So it's Sidsi Blood Tyrant. She's a 4-drop legendary creature Naga Shaman. When it enters or attacks, you mill 3. Whenever one of her creature cards are put into your graveyard from your library, you make a 2/2 zombie. So, I want to build the deck around that. And I got this from my local shop. And so while I was there, I decided to ask somebody who knew a lot more about Magic and who has been playing it a lot longer than I have to help me find cards that would be good for the deck. So, some of the cards that he helped me find were Rise from the Grave, 5-drop. You put a creature card from any graveyard on the battlefield under your control, and it becomes a black zombie. Harmonize, it's a 4-drop, draw 3. That one might come out, actually. I'm not quite sure yet. Reaper of the Wilds, it's a 4-drop. Whenever another creature dies, you scry 1, pay black against Death Touch, pay 1 and a green, and it gains Hexproof. From Beyond, it makes an Eldrazi Scion every turn, and then you can pay 2 sack it and go search for a Eldrazi. Then we have Solte Ascendancy. It's a 3-drop at the beginning of your upkeep. You look at the top 2 cards of your library. You can put any number of them into your graveyard, the rest of them back on top of your library in any order. So that card really synergizes with Sidsi. Especially because now we can make a zombie every turn if we don't like what's on top, but we don't have to. Then there's Havengul Lich. So he's a 5-drop. You pay 1, you may cast a creature card in any graveyard this turn. When you cast that card, Havengul Lich gains all abilities of that card until the end of the turn. So milling a creature is not the end of the world, because if we pay 1 more, we can play it now. So we've just made our graveyard our own, we've basically made the graveyard our hand. And it affects all of our opponent's graveyards too, which is really nice. Slumgar's Command, a 5-drop, choose 2, counter target non-creature spell, return target permanent to its owner's hand, target creature gets -3/-3, or destroy target planeswalker. It's our Swiss Army knife of the deck, as at least it is right now. Phantom Nanteco, a 3-drop trample. It enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. If it would be dealt damage, you prevent that damage and remove a -1/-1 counter. And that's not just combat damage, that's any damage. And you can tap it and put +1/+1 counter on it. So it's basically our blocker, and if we don't have to block, it gets bigger. So it's a nice card there, and we're going to be using it a lot to, because it gets past Death Touch, so we don't have to worry about Death Touch now. And it also stops trample, if I'm correct, because we're preventing all of the damage. So that's really helpful. We have Wake the Dead. It's a 2-drop X. You can only cast it during combat on an opponent's turn. You return X creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, and then you sacrifice those creatures at the beginning of the next end step. So the reason why I'm running this card is our goal would be to bring back cards that have enter the battlefield triggers or leave the battlefield triggers. So if we have a Zulaport Cutthroat on the field, and then we play this card, we get X Zulaport Cutthroat triggers, which isn't half bad. In addition, we can block with all the creatures that we just made, and a lot of the creatures that we're going to be running in the deck will end up destroying things when they enter or doing other things. So it's a good card. And then another one is, well, if I can pick it up. Another one, Soul of Innistrad, 6-drop, 6/6 with Death Touch. Pay 5, return 3 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Pay 3, exile it from your graveyard, and then you do the same thing. So it's not too bad. We have Forgotten Creation. It's a 4-drop Skulk. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may discard all cards in your hand if you do draw that many. If our hand ever gets too clogged up and we can't play anything, or there's nothing that we want there, such as it's all lands, we can just get rid of it now, and now we have a brand new hand. It's a good thing, especially because we can do it on our upkeep. And then we have Tygram Sidsi's Hand. So it's a 5-drop, skip your draw step at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand, the rest into your graveyard, and then you pay black and exile X cards from your graveyard. Target creature gets -X until the end of turn. So he's not too bad either. So those are the cards that my friend helped me get. As for the rest of the deck, I don't have anything right now. So what I was going to do is I was going to show you how I build my decks. And so I thought that this would be a great one to do because it's zombie tribal, so I normally build tribal decks, and it would just be a really fun deck to do. So I've got a couple of my other decks that I've already gotten built right here with me, so I'm going to look through those decks and find cards that I think would be good in this one. So one of the first cards I see already is Desecrated Tomb. It was second from the top, so pay 3. It's a 3-drop artifact. Whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, you create a 1/1 bat. So we're going to be doing a lot of reanimation, which I feel like that card's a great card because the creature doesn't have to go on the battlefield. It just has to leave your library or your graveyard. So that's not too hard. I think Final Parting would be good in this deck. You search your library for 2 cards, put one into your hand, the other into your graveyard, then you shuffle. That other into the graveyard triggers Sidsi, so it's not too bad. Let me see. We might run Clone Legion. I'm not quite sure. So it's a 9-drop for each creature. Target player controls, you create a copy. So I'm gonna put it over here into like a maybe pile. We can go look at it later. We're definitely running Soul Ring. I mean, we'd be dumb not to. Overseer of the Damned is a nice one to run. Flying, whenever it enters the battlefield, you may destroy target creature. Whenever a non-token creature opponent controls dies, you create a tap 2/2 black zombie. So it's not too bad. Path of Ancestors definitely going in. It's a land that taps for any color in our commander's identity. And then Commander Spheres going in. Pitiless Plunderers is going in because it's part of an infinite combo. Plus, whenever one of our creatures dies, which we're going to have a lot of sack outlets to make sure that that happens, we make a treasure. So it's not too bad. Oh yeah, Grave Wakers is definitely going in. He's a 6-drop 5/5 flyer. You pay 7, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. That seems good. We're definitely running him. We might run Conjurer's Closet. Beginning your end step, you exile a creature and then return that creature to the battlefield. It's not too bad. We might run it. I'm going to put him into the maybe pile. Black Market definitely wouldn't be bad. Whenever a creature dies, you put a charge counter on it. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you add black to your mana pool for each charge counter on it. He is definitely going in. So Indrix, Saudar, Master Breeder. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you make X thralls, or X is that spell's convert mana cost. When you control 7 or more thralls, you sacrifice him. So he's not too bad, and we could definitely use the thralls. Especially because we can make them like zombies, and then we can make the zombies immortal. So I think he's pretty good. We should definitely run Elixir of Immortality, because if we're playing all this stuff, we might end up milling ourselves out, and that would be a bad thing. So we definitely don't want that to happen. I am considering Clone. You may have it entered as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, so I'm going to put him into the maybe. But we definitely want Body Double. Pay 5, you may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature card in a graveyard. In case we mill something important, we definitely want it. Jared's Orders sounds like a good card to put in. You search your library for up to 2 creature cards, reveal them, put one into your hand, the other into your graveyard, then shuffle. Oh, by the way, I'm getting these from my my Scarecrow deck. Murder seems like a good card to put in, so I'm going to put him over here. He might not be the best. Stolen Identity. Put a token on the battlefield that's a copy of target artifact or creature with Cipher. So basically we exile on a creature, and whenever that creature deals combat damage, we get to do it again. So that sounds good. Whisper Bloodologist. Tap it, sack 2 creatures, return target creature card from graveyard to the battlefield. So I'm going to move him over to the maybe board. He's definitely going in. Sangromancer flying. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you may gain 3 life. Whenever an opponent discards a card, you may gain 3 life. We're going to go with maybe on that one. Command Tower. We're definitely running that. It's a land that taps for any color in a commander's color identity. Diabolic Tutor. Search for a card. Definitely going in. Swiftfoot Boots. Definitely going in. Running low on cards here in this deck. Razakest Right, search for a card, definitely going in. Especially because it's got cycling. Nope, that's not a color identity. Ooh, but that one is. Altered Ego. It can't be countered. You may have it enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield with X additional +1/+1 counters. The X is in its cost. That seems good to me. We don't have to go like all zombie tribal, but I was attempting to. But I think Verdant Forest is good enough to be in the maybe board. We definitely want to think about running him, because he's good. Vizier of Many Faces. Enter as a copy of any creature, and it's got Embalm. So that's not too bad. I'm definitely running it. I would be a fool not to. Never to Return. That's a really good kill spell. It's definitely being mainboarded. I'd be super stupid not to. And then Opal Palace, it's another land that taps for everything, so we're going to put him in. Reassembling Skeleton, pay to return from the graveyard to the battlefield, part of an infinite combo, and he's definitely going into the deck. Sifter of Skulls, he's going in. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you make a 1/1 colorless. He's part of an infinite combo, so we definitely want him. We've got Cackling Counterpart, put a token on the battlefield that's copied target creature you control with flashback. We might use it because of the flashback, so I'm going to put him into the maybe board. Arcane Adaptation is part of another infinite combo, so we're going to put him mainboarded. And then, if I'm lucky, I'll have a Xenograph come in that we can mainboard, but I don't have it yet. So Vela, the Nightclad, it's a 6-drop, Intimidate. Other creatures you control have Intimidate. Whenever or another creature leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses a life. So we're definitely mainboarding that. We've got Ashen Assaulter, sack a creature, make 2 colorless. He's going in. Anwan might go into the side, or the maybe board. It would basically make everybody sack a non-vampire during my upkeep. So it's definitely going to be considered. Aminatu's Augury, it's going mainboarded. Mainboarded. That's not a word. It's being mainboarded. You exile the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them on the battlefield until end of turn. For each non-land card type, you may cast a card of that type from among the exiled cards without paying its mana cost. So, I mean, sure, it exiles cards, but it's not too bad. Price of Fame is being mainboarded because of the Surveil. Butcher of Malakar is being mainboarded, because why not? So, Price of Fame is a kill spell. Butcher of Malakar, every time that a creature of ours dies, each opponent sacks a creature. So, we're going to be playing a ton of stuff that kills our stuff, so we might as well have stuff to get value out of it. Well, that was it for my Scarecrow deck, so I gotta go find another deck. I'll be right back. Okay. So now I'm going to pull from my Is It deck. So I'm basically just going to be seeing what good blue cards are in here that we could run. There might not be a lot. I think Pour Over the Pages, draw 3, untap 2, discard a card could be sideboard, or put in the maybe board. Cuminous Awakening might be in the maybe board. It lets you draw a card during, it lets everybody draw a card during your upkeep unless you have a send, in which case only you draw a card. Myriad Landscape's probably a good land to put in. You pay to tap it, sack it, you search for 2 lands that share a land type and put them on the battlefield. They have to be basic lands. So I think it's pretty good. Oh yeah, this card is definitely good. So Read the Runes, X and 1 blue, draw X for each card drawn this way, discard card unless you sacrifice a permanent. Since we want to sacrifice permanents, it's not too bad to put in. I actually think he might be one of the better cards. Let's just draw a ton, and then we get to sack if we need to. We're definitely putting in cards Triple Sundering. We take an extra turn, bounce something, but we can only cast it if we control Legendary, but there's plenty of Legendaries in here. So I don't think it would be a bad card to put in. Mind Unbound. I'm going to put this in the maybe board because it could draw us out, but basically at the beginning of our upkeep we put a counter on it, and then we draw a card for each counter on it. So it's not too bad. I'm definitely putting Ponder in. It's a 1-drop. Look at the top 3, put them back in any order, draw a card, and you may shuffle. And then I might put in Whelming Wave. So this one's going in the main board, but it basically bounces all creatures except for Krakens, Leviathans, Octopi, and Serpents. Not octopuses, but that's what it says. It's wrong. Part the Water Veil, take an extra turn, exile it. Definitely going main boarded. Monastery Siege, during your upkeep, you get to draw an additional card, then discard one, or spells your opponent's cast the target you or permanent you control costs 2 more. We're definitely main boarding that one. Let's see. Platinum Angel. That one's being main boarded, because we can use him if it's in their graveyard, so, you know, they gotta exile it, and then we can copy it a gajillion times, so it's not too bad. We might draw ourselves out, so why not have a Lab Maniac in here? I think it's worth it. We're going to be playing Dredge. Sort of Dredge. Miniature Dredge. I don't know what you call it. Brainstorm, definitely going in. And getting close to the end here. We definitely want Chemist's Insight, draw 2 with Jump Start. And then Chasm Skulker, probably. I'm going to put this on the maybe board. Whenever you draw a card, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. When it dies, you do stuff. And then Ops going main boarded. For now. Primordial Mist. At the beginning of your in-step, you manifest the top card of your library. Then you can look at it and cast it if you wanted to. So, it's not bad. Stormtide Leviathan. He's going in case we don't want to die, because he's pretty good for that. And then, yeah, because, you know, he stops stuff from attacking us, or from attacking at all, and we can win without attacking. We've got ways. Or at least we will once I'm done. But we already have in them what I consider to be the main board ways. We might go with a spellbook. I'm going to put him in the maybe board. We might need him. Let's see. Definitely mainboarding that Mirror Mad Phantasm. It's a good card. Oh. I just had an idea. We could mill ourselves out with this. And then we could win. Huh. I wonder how practical that is. Oh boy. Okay. So that seems to... Oh wait, we've got more cards. Oh no, yeah, that's it. Okay. So I gotta go find more cards. So far this is what I've got. I'll be back in just a moment after I find some more cards. Okay guys, I went through like a bunch of my stuff and I found some cards. So Drown and Sorrow, all creatures get -2/-2 until the end of turn, scry 1. I found Grey Merchant of Asphodel, 5-drop. When it enters, each opponent loses X life for X is your devotion to black. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. In Commander, this is a great card, so we could be gaining a ton of life off of it. Golden Demise, a 3-drop Ascend. All creatures get -2/-2. If you have the City's Blessing, instead only your opponent's creatures get -2/-2. Evolutionary Leap, 2-drop. Pay green, sack a creature, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put it in your hand, the rest on the bottom in a random order. Apococyte, a 2-drop. It enters with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. If you didn't cast it from your hand, when it dies, exile it with 3 counters on it, and it gains Suspend. So that thing keeps on coming back, and it's a good card. For a single 3-drop, sack a creature, gets +2/+2 until the end of the turn. Unmoored Ego, a 3-drop. Choose a card name, search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards with that name, and exile them. That player shuffles their library, then draws a card for each card exiled from their hand this way. So with this card, you're choosing basic lands. It's probably not going in the deck, but with this card, you would choose basic lands. So I'm actually not going to put that in the deck, because after reading it, it doesn't sound too good. Reason to Believe. Reason is a 1-drop, scry 3. Believe is a 4-drop or a 5-drop Aftermath. Look at the top card of your library. You may put it on the battlefield if it's a creature card if you don't put it into your hand. So, Aftermath cards, like you know, like the ones like these, are our best friend because we can cast them from the graveyard. We got Driven to Despair. Driven, until end of turn, creatures gain Trample, and whenever they deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card. Despair, they gain Menace, and whenever they deal damage, they discard a card. So, or your opponent's discard a card, but it's not too bad. If Troll, a 2-drop, Trample, discard creature card, you put a +1/+1 counter on it, pay green, or pay black, regenerate it. It might go in, might not. A Triad of the Silencer, it can't be blocked. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you exile target creature card that player controls, put a hit counter on it. If that player loses the game, if they control 3 or more cards with hit counters on them, then you shuffle it into your deck. Because we have so many ways to play it from our graveyard, and because we can copy it so many times, and because our deck is going to be increasingly small, it's going in. Because it would be silly not to. Necromantic Selection, it's a 7-drop. Destroy all creatures, return a creature card put into a graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. It's a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types, and then you exile Necromantic Selection. Krav, the Unredeemed, it's a 5-drop. Partners with Regna. We're not playing Regna because Regna's white, not in our color identity. Pay black, sack X creatures, target player draws X, gains X, put X +1/+1 counters on Krav. So it's like our group hug in there. Although we don't really group hug, it's for us, but you don't have to tell that to other people. Blood Artist, it's a 2-drop. Whenever another creature dies, target player loses 1, you gain 1. So that's any creature, not just ours. Leon's Mastery, 5-drop. Zombies you control get +1/+1. When it enters, you create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Phyrexian Scriptures. It's a 4-drop. Put a +1/+1 counter up to one target creature. That creature becomes an artifact in addition to its other types. Destroy all non-artifact creatures. Exile all cards from all opponents' graveyards. It's a saga. It's a pretty good saga too, because we don't mind our stuff dying. We can get it back, but our opponents probably can't. Diagraph Ghoul, 1-drop, enters the battlefield tapped. It's a 2/2. Zanthor Necromancer is a 3-drop. Whenever it or another human creature you control dies, you put a 2/2 black zombie creature token on the battlefield tapped. So we're going to use this dude with our Arcane Adaptation to make our zombies basically immortal by making all of our zombies humans. So whenever one of our zombies dies, we make another zombie. And since we can stack stuff a bunch, we can make a bunch of zombies. Which doesn't really help us, but I mean, yeah, we can make infinitely big things. Diluvian Primordial, it might not go in. It's a 7-drop flying. When it enters the battlefield, for each opponent, you may cast up to one target instant or sorcery card from that player's graveyard without paying its mana cost. If a card cast this way would be put into a graveyard this turn, you exile it instead. Give me a moment. Okay. Curse of Verbosity. Enchant player. Whenever enchanted player is attacked, draw a card. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. You can do this on the most annoying opponent, or you can do it on yourself late in the game if you get it then, and then you're drawing cards, but of course your opponents are too. So it's up to you how you use it. I think it's a good card. Jace's Eraser. Whenever you draw a card, you may have target player put the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. We can choose ourselves. So we're choosing ourselves to mill one, but that's only if we can see the top card of our library, which I'm missing a bunch of my rares. As soon as I find them, I can put in cards that let us see the top card of our library anytime, so then we don't have to worry about it. But I don't know where those cards went, so I gotta go find them. Midnight Reaper, 3-drop. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, it deals 1 damage to you when you draw a card. Abhorrent Overlord. It's a 7-drop flying. When it enters, you make a number of 1/1 black harpies equal to your devotion to black, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, you sack a creature. You can choose it if you wanted to, because most people don't like to sack stuff, but for us, it's not too bad. Indulgent Tormentor, 5-drop, flying at the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card unless target opponent sacks a creature or pays 3. That is 3 life. Curse of Disturbance. Enchant player. Whenever a enchant player is attacked, you make a 2/2 black zombie. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. It's the same deal as our other curse. Late game, you might do it to yourself. Early game, it doesn't really matter. Skull Clamp, 1-drop. A chain creature gets +1 -1 whenever the equipped creature dies. You draw 2 cards. Equip 1. Then we have House Guildmage. It's a 2-drop. Pay 2, tap it. Target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. You pay 3, tap it. Surveil 2. So Surveil is our best friend in the deck because we get to look at the top cards and we can put them back in any order, or we can put them into our graveyard, which triggers our commander. Surveil is the best way to do stuff in the deck. It's this deck's very special version of Scrying. So we got Barrier of Bones. It's a 1-drop. When it enters, you Surveil 1. Watcher in the Mist. 5-drop flying. When it enters, you Surveil 2. 3-drop. When it enters, each player sacks a creature planeswalker. Each player can't discard a card. Grim Discovery, 2-drop, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, or return target land card to your graveyard to your hand, or do both. You can choose one or both. Havoc Demon, 7-drop, flying. When it dies, destroy all creatures get -5/-5 until the end of turn. So that's one of our board wipes, in case we have to. Graph Harvest, 1-drop, zombies you control have menace, 4-drop, or for 4, exile target creature card from your graveyard, make a 2/2 zombie. Probably won't be using that ability. Unearth, 1-drop, return target creature card with convert mana cost 3 less from a graveyard to the battlefield, and it has cycling for 2. Then we have Gavony Unhallowed. It's a 4-drop. Whenever another creature you control dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on Gavony Unhallowed. Doom Dissenter. It's a 2-drop. When it dies, you make a 2/2 black zombie. Dark Bargain. You look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 2 of them to your hand, the other into your graveyard. It deals 2 damage to you. Trigger Sidsi, we draw 2 cards, we take 2. It's a 4-drop, instant speed, so we can still counter stuff. Not too bad. Carrion Feeder, 1-drop, can't block target creature, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Rotten Heart Ghoul, it's a 4-drop. When it dies, target player discards a card. Gravedigger, 4-drop, return it. When it enters, you return target creature card from graveyard to your hand. Sinister Sabotage, 3-drop counter spell, draw a card, or not draw a card, Surveil 1. Then we have Discovery, Dispersal. So I don't know if you can cast both of these at the same time. I'm pretty sure that you can only cast one. But it's a 2-drop Surveil 2 draw card, or for 5. Each opponent returns a non-land permanent they control with the highest converted mana cost among permanents they control to its owner's hand, and then they discard a card. Unexplained Disappearance, it's a 2-drop, bounce a creature, surveil 1. Notion Rain, surveil 2, draw 2, it deals 2 damage to you. And then Deadly Visit, it's a 5-drop, destroy target creature, surveil 2. So those are all the cards that I have found right now, although I know where a few more lie, so I'm going to go look for those cards. Be right back. Okay, I went and found some more cards. So, Solemn Reaper, when it enters the battlefield, each player sacks a creature. Strategic Planning, look at the top 3 of your library, put one of them into your hand, the rest into your graveyard. Contingency Plan, look at the top 5 of your library, put any number of them into your graveyard, the rest on the back on top in any order. Thought, Scour, it's a 1-drop, target player mills 2, and then you draw a card. Soothsaying, 5-drop, or it's a 1-drop enchantment, pay 5, shuffle, pay X, look at the top X, put them back in any order. Opportunity, 6-drop, target player draws 4. Rakashaw's Disdain, a 3-drop counter target spell unless its controller pays 1 for each card in your graveyard. We're getting a lot of cards into our graveyard, so it's countered. A 3-drop Una's Grace, target player draws a card with Retrace, so we can discard a land card from our hand, and then we can cast it from our graveyard. By paying its you still have to pay its cost. Then we got Brawn, 4-drop Trample, as long as it's in your graveyard you control force. Creatures you control have Trample. Elemental Bond is a 3-drop. Whenever a creature with a power 3 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you draw a card. Wailing Ghoul, it's a 2-drop. When it enters, we mill 2. Crow of Dark Titans, it's a 3-drop flyer. When it enters, we mill 2. Or when it dies, we also mill 2. Thought Erasure, it's a 2-drop. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose an all-in card from it. That player discards that card. Surveil. Whisper Agent, 3-drop flash. When it enters the battlefield, surveil 1. Quarry Beetle, 5-drop, 4/5. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Order the Accursed. Other zombies get +1/+1. Tap 2, or pay 2, tap it. All zombies gain menace until the end of turn. Psychic Strike, instant counter target spell unless its controller puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. No, that's not what that says. Counter target spell, its controller puts the top card of his or her library in top 2 of his or her library in his or her graveyard. There's no unless there. They just do it. Open the Graves, 5-drop. Whenever non-token creature you control dies, you make a 2/2 black zombie. Embalmer's Tools, 2-drop. Activate abilities, creature cards in your graveyard, cost 1 less to activate. Tap and untap zombie you control, target player mills 1. So guess what? When we make a zombie, we can mill ourselves a card. And if it's a creature card, we make another zombie, and then we can mill ourselves. You get the idea. Mona the Unhallowed, it's a 4-drop. Put two 2/2 black zombies on the battlefield with flashback for 7, in case we have to cast it from our graveyard. Hopefully we won't. Telegram of Scheming, it's a 2-drop. Look at the top 5, put any number of them in your graveyard, the rest on the back on top in any order. Genesis Chamber. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield, if Genesis Chamber is untapped, that creature's controller makes a 1/1. So not just us, but everybody. But yeah, it won't matter. Counterspell, 2-drop counter target spell. So these are all the cards that I've found, and now I gotta go and build the actual deck. So for the main part of the deck, I'm gonna need to use 59 cards, and then for my lands I'm gonna have 40. So now I gotta go and fix this. Here we go. Okay, so from these cards, I'm not going to be playing that one, I'm not going to be playing that one, I'm not going to be playing that one because we don't have enough card draw. There's no sense in me playing that one because we don't have enough card draw. We might play that one. We won't play that one, we don't need it. We won't play that one, we don't need it. We won't play that one, no sense in us doing so. We might play that one. We might play that one. We might play that one. Might play that one. Might play that one. I'm definitely playing that one. Might play that one. Might play that one. So we know that we're not playing these cards. So that's good. Then we have another pile of cards that we might be playing and a pile of cards that we definitely are playing. So moving on from there, we got these cards. Okay. Samir Mad Phantasm, we're probably playing. Definitely playing. Definitely playing. Yeah, probably playing. Definitely playing. See, the reason why I'm able to tell what I'm probably playing and what I'm definitely playing is the definitely playing cards will either help us win the game, will help us get further in the game, or we can play from our graveyard. So, this is how we know. Oh boy. Do I even want... I don't know that I want Vela in here. Vela might go in, though. I couldn't even find half my green cards that I wanted to put in, you know? It sucked. Yeah, we're gonna put them in. And then all these cards, I already know what they do. They're going in. Okay. There's that. And just wait until I have to make cuts, because I still gotta go through this much cards. Yeah, we don't want that. We might want that. We don't want that. That one's going in. That one's going in. Definitely want that one. We don't care about that one. We want him. We want that one. Yeah. Could use. We don't want. Want. Yeah. Don't want. Want that one. That one's a maybe. We want him. We might want him. Actually, we do want him. Yep. Definitely. Yeah. Part of an infinite combo. Creature. Kill spell. So basically, at this point, I'm just picking random cards that we're not going to want. So I'm just going to go through these real quick. We don't want that one. Yeah, we don't need it. Well, actually, that's a good one, Con, because we're making a bunch of zombies. We could do that one. No, we don't want that one. We want that one. 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 Okay. So we want these cards. We don't want those. Then that one's good. That one's good. We don't want. We don't need. We want that one. That one's okay. Good. 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 Don't want that one. Don't want that one. Don't want that one. Good. Good. Yeah, we definitely want that one. At this point, I'm just looking at them and picking random piles, and they're going into that pile, regardless. Yeah, we don't need that one. We definitely want these. And then, I already said that we didn't need those. Okay, so, this is the stack of cards that I have narrowed it down to. We definitely aren't playing these. Well, maybe these, but we probably won't be playing these. I'll have to go through and check again. And then, of course, there's the... Most of these are lands, but half of them aren't. Okay, so I need to count these cards and then cut down what I don't need. So I'll be right back after I've counted. So I went through and counted, and there are 97 cards in this stack, which means I have to cut out 48 cards. So about half the stack. Well, here we go. We're definitely running that one. We definitely want that one. We want that one. We definitely want it. Yep. Keeps us from killing ourselves. We don't want that one. We don't want that one. Yeah. Who cares about counter spells? We can use that one. We don't need that one. That one can be in our graveyard, giving ourselves trample. That one scries. That one returns a land. We don't need that one. We want that one. We want it. Yeah. Yeah, do I want that one? Yeah, because that's a combo bit. We don't need that one. We don't need the counter spells. We can use that one. We can use that one. We can use that one. Yep. Definitely. Could use one con. Board wipe. Why not? Yeah. Yeah. No. That card, we're not playing that card. Get that card out of here. It ain't good enough. We don't need that many board wipes. It's a 1-drop. I don't want it. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I guess we could make a ton of stuff at the end of the game with him. We don't need that one. We don't need that one. We don't need it. Kills our stuff too. We don't need that one. Yeah, no more counter spells. We could do without that one. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and use that one. Yeah, the Harmonize is coming out. I'm just saying. And then this card... No, yeah, that one's staying in. Okay. Hold up. I've cut about 12 cards. And I'm halfway through the stack, so that means I should probably cut all of these, but we probably won't. It's going to be a very, very different deck. We don't need that one. I think I even had 2 black markets. Goodness. Yeah, because we need to make things. We need to make dudes. We don't need that one. I just took a Swiftfoot Boots out of my deck. I feel really weird. I've never done that. Yeah, we don't need that one. If we can take extra turns, we might as well, you know? Because we do a ton of stuff during returns. We don't need that one. I'm very much considering taking out that Platinum Angel. Okay. So I took out this many cards this time around, which isn't enough. So I need to go back through again and choose cards that need to come out. The good thing is every time I go through here, I cut out some cards. And so each of the cards that I cut out might make me more likely to cut out another card. Like I just cut out the Storm-Tide Leviathan after looking at it again. And I might as well cut out the Lab Maniac, but I'm going to leave it. Yeah, because we can hit any creature in our graveyard, which is helpful. We want that one, we want like a massive amount of these. We want all of these. We could do without the Notion Rain, to be completely honest. Or no, we cannot do without the Notion Rain. We can do without the Gravedigger, though. We could do without the Dark Bargain. We could do without the Gravity Unhallowed, actually. And we probably want the Dark Bargain. We don't need that one. We don't need that one. Oh, wait, we need this one. We could do without. Cards are falling, cards are falling. Could use. No, we don't need that one. We could definitely use that one. It's a really good board wipe, actually. We don't need that. No, we need this. We don't need the other one. We don't need that one. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the this dude. I'm gonna cut out that dude. And this will probably make it better. I should probably double check though, because I need to do another count. So I'll be back in just a moment after I've counted. So I managed to cut it down to 66 cards, so we only need to take out 7 additional cards. So I'm just going to go through here really quick, and like if we're this close to being done, then I can be not very picky on what I take out, actually, because taking something out won't change the deck too bad. So now it's just a matter of picking what I don't need. So that was 2 cards I just took out, so I only need to take out 5 more. Yeah, 5 more. Now I only need to take out 4 more. And now I only need to take out 3 more. Now I only need to take out 2 more. So I'm not even halfway through. Yeah, that one's good. That one's not. That one's good. So how many did I take out? I forgot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I only need to take out 1 more card. That dude. Okay. So there. I just fixed the deck. We're at 59. Now I'm going to go through the maybe cards that I had set out over here. I'm going to see if any of these need to go back in. So give me just a moment. Vela would not be half bad now that I've just done that. Don't want the mirror mad. So these 2 cards I might end up putting back in after I've done all this. So I think I'm going to have to take out, well, I know I'm going to have to take out 2 additional cards, so let's see. Gravewaker's good enough to stay in. Whisper might come out though. Think I should take out Whisper? No, I make enough tokens to leave Whisper in. I could probably take out some of the duplicate cards though, like, you know, Clone, Vizier, Altered Ego. I could take those out, but they hit every single card, so it doesn't make sense to really take them out. I could definitely take out the Platinum Angel and the Laboratory Maniac though. I could take out those 2, and then I think I'd be good. But what happens if I mill myself out and I accidentally mill a Elixir of Immortality? See, this is one of the problems that I encounter, is what happens when I mill out the card that I need. So now I have to go check if the deck has another card in case I mill out my Elixir of Immortality. So I'm going to go look at that. So the deck has no way to win if the Elixir of Immortality is out, and I'm about to mill myself. So I'm going to take out the Driven to Despair and put in that. And that should fix the deck. And then these 2 go in, and then these 2 go out, and then this is the deck. So that's the deck. I'm going to go through the deck list real quick. And then for my mana base, I just do however many non-basics I have here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I do 4, and then I do like a couple dual lands, and then the rest of it will be basics. So I'll go through the deck list and then that really quick. Okay. Yeah, because I know that this is already going on a 45-minute video. I might actually not go through the deck list, because you've been watching as I've been pulling cards out, and that's how I built the deck. So, but that's it. So I guess I haven't gone over the mana base yet. So this is my 5-color deck, which has all the different mana base cards in it. So I'm going to really quick go through here, pull out any mana that should go in. That one doesn't go in. That one goes in though. Because having green mana, like, we don't play that many green cards, so having green mana will not be too helpful except for casting our commander, but we definitely want to have it when we need to have it to cast the commander, because the deck revolves around having the commander out. Although if the commander's not out, we can still win. It's not the end of the world, but it is very helpful to have the commander out. So I'm just gonna real quick look through. Was that that was a Dimir Guildgate? Give me that. Submerged Boneyard, Jungle Hollow, Dismal Backwater. Flower Orchard. Okay, so once I move these real quick, that will be my land base for now. -3 per king. Okay, so this is my land base. Let me go through and count how many cards are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So since I run 13 here, that means that I could have 27 in the deck. And so if I'm dividing 27 by 3, I end up with 8. And no, I end up with 9 exactly, don't I? So I'd run 9 of each of the basic lands, and that would be my deck. So, you know, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to test it out here in a moment, except for the fact that I just tore apart all my other commander decks trying to build this one. So, yeah, that's a funny story. Anyway, I'm going to test it as soon as I figure out how. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. This is how I build my own decks. This is how I build every deck I do. Commander decks just take longer because there's more cards and it's a very specific amount of cards. This is literally how I do it. I go through and find all the cards that could be possible, and then I see which ones work. If you were going to build a deck, this is the way I suggest that you do it, but I've been notified that if you're just starting out, you need to sort by set.